Hi Tian Chen and Tian Yuan. I hope my camera is better than it's looking here. Should be clear. Okay, so this is a very like a messy video because I know you're busy and I'm busy and the conference is coming soon. So I'm gonna send you my work even though if it's not finished, so we can start thinking about it because my poster presentation was going to be, actually I was going to give an actual presentation, but because I have so much work this semester, I decided to make it a poster presentation. So our presentation is going to be based on the same, because it's the same abstract, because we don't have time to change it, I don't think. So you let me know what you think. But it's basically about time, that, how we manage time and so on. So I'm going to show you the article I'm basing my poster on, and then I'm going to show you my poster, how I incorporated our work. So I was going to send you things when it was finished, but since we're going to present, I wanted to give you a head start so that you can start thinking about what you want to say as well. So, all right, I'm going to start with the article. So this is by Hairumi et al. It's called Game Design as a Collaborative Process. It's one of three parts. So it's called Preparing Instructional Designers for Game-Based Learning, Part 3. So this is the third part, and I like the collaborative part of it. What I'm taking out, like I've read a lot, and you know what it's like. So I had to reduce everything to something really small. So what I chose was this over here. So this combines the instructional design, ID is for instructional design, and the game design, which is what we did. So start with analysis, which is concept, and then design, pre-production, development, prototype, implementation, and post-production. So the way I incorporated this, and this article has a lot of nice things really, but the way I incorporated these things is with this little visual. So basically the timeline is here, and instructional design on the left and game development on the right. So when I designed the game, so I did analysis and I did the concept. That was in July. And then this was my game proposal. So in the game proposal, part of the course was to think about both instruction and game principles, right? And then Tian Chen's group, I think it's team 1, they came with a leadership perspective. So they urged me to think more about the concept and analyzing it and so on. I had to get domain knowledge in decision making and real estate, what concepts apply to real estate. This is not domain knowledge. I'm going to have to put something else there. I'm still reading. So basically, this is not finished, but by the end of this visual, when I finish it, it's going to have a visual representation of how much time it took from analysis to design and how I had to cram everything towards the end. So one possible thing I noticed, for example, Tian Yuan, if you think about the time you spent, how much was it on illustration and how much was it on actual game design? Like, for example, if you wanted to, if we would do this all over again and I developed the dialogue and everything else early on, how differently would you have spent your time? Now I crammed, I put a lot, I waited until the last minute in a way, but that's the thing. When we're students, we have to, we have other things going on. So we're not operating a business. So this is something for you to think. Now, my take on it is that, Tian Chen's team, I wasn't aware that they were going to prepare a prototype, but sometimes it's better to prepare something so that you can see how it's going to look. Tian Chen's prototype was more like a gamified course. So the interaction here was a little lower than here. So I'm reading about like how, if a game is like watching TV or more like simulation. So Tian Chen's group didn't have enough time to prepare this game, and then maybe they didn't have the coding experience. So we can conclude that when you have, depending on what talent you have on the team and how much time you have, you are more likely to do like an online course than a game, right? Now, with Tian Yuan, I thought if I had given you more time, you may have been able to actually make the characters swim and do things like that. And I noticed that you mentioned in your profile that you didn't have, not everybody had coding experience. So all the coding was on you. Yeah. So we just talk about how our different talents complemented each other at the same time, the limitations of being students and not having enough experience in certain things because we're all learning. So I just thought it was really interesting because collaboration, from what I've been reading, like educational institutions find it difficult to find the money and people, the power to do educational games. So for our collaboration, it could be a nice model to follow if institutions want to develop games. So, and having the collaboration using talents from ECU and talents from your university. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting give me 1 second. So yeah, so talent from students from ECU and XJTLU University. So that could be a nice model to start the conversation, really. I don't want myself, I'm overwhelmed, and I'm sure you are too. So I don't want to finish the story now, but I want to start the conversation. This is what I'm thinking. So this visual, okay. Oh, sorry. So this visual is going to be, the visual I just showed you is going to be somewhere. You see how messy my stuff are? Okay, so this visual is going to be here. And I haven't finished it yet. I have to read some more. And I have to write the discussion here. So let me just take you through part little by little. Also, Tian Chen, I thought about like preparing a presentation where, I look at all these different, different experiences, different interpretations. But I think I'm going to stick with Canaries because your contribution to the Canaries was asking me all the questions about leadership and so on. So I'm going to stick with what Dr. Nali has already talked about. It's not here. Because I started another presentation. Oh, here it is. Yeah, you can see I did a lot of work. So I looked back at what the original collaboration plan was. And so this was the leadership perspective, proposal owner, prototype production. So this is how it worked, So I thought about starting 2 prototypes. So we have some things, but I don't have everything cited. Like, you can see here that the citation is proper. So I started brainstorming, and this is basically the dual purpose game-based learning, just to give you an idea. Okay, so I'm going to go back to, okay. So the presentation abstract is, I share my experience. We can change that to sharing our experiences, designing an educational game. Okay. So the product's chocolate wafers. Now, if you want anything changed on this, please read it. If you want anything changed, I can talk to them about changing it. But when I sent this abstract to the conference we're going to present at, it's a virtual conference, I wasn't sure whether you're going to join me or not. So we can change this, I think. But it's better to stick with the same time concept. So then the game prototype, we're looking at the game prototype, the Canaries. Now remember, this is my poster. So this is going to be a poster I'm going to present. So, but the concept I think it's going to be really nice that we share all our experiences, because to write the discussion, I thought about asking you more questions. If you notice, I asked you about like how many hours did you spend, so and so. But I decided not to talk about that because it's not my voice. Like I can't capture your experience 100%. So I felt it's safer not to talk about it. So I'm going to talk about the design timeline, how this is going to be longer, like it took a longer time from analysis to design. Of course, we weren't doing anything. I wasn't doing anything through this time. I was just being a student, but we can talk about how that affected it. So maybe a good thing is to think how this timeline, how you can relate to this timeline. If you feel like I'm getting something inaccurately, let me know. If you feel like, oh, you know, but we started actually working on it here, we had that time here, so you can tell me about that, please. So now for my poster, I'm going to write the discussion here and the references and my acknowledgements. So this will be like how we launch our presentation. I wanted to send you this video so that you can start thinking, because I know I don't want to, you know, leave it till the last minute again. So this poster presentation is going to be beginning of April, and the other conference is going to be later in the week. So please, you know, have some time to think about it, and we will meet. Would you like to meet? I think it's better if we meet. I don't know. We'll decide on a time to meet. I'm sure you're very busy. I'm very busy with a million things. So, but it's really fun. This is really fun. Okay, well, let me know what you think.